Hey, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'll be reviewing the Cornwell JRZFB12LB, which is a Cornwell Z Series industrial finish flex head ratchet. And this thing retails currently for $174.95 on Cornwell's website. I got this thing for about $150. On my dealer's truck, he was running a promotion, so it was $150 total. Definitely ask your dealer about promotions and stuff that they run specifically on their truck, and you could probably get it for cheaper as well. But yeah, this is a 13-inch Z Series flex head ratchet with a 120-tooth drive mechanism or a ratchet mechanism, and it has the chrome industrial finish, aka a black oxide finish, which they call the industrial finish, and it currently retails for $174.95. It's advertised with a 3-degree arc swing and a sealed head, plus a 7-position locking ball detent, which I'll talk about in a bit. And of course, it's 100% made in the USA. So this ratchet has been my daily driver for about 3 months now, or 2 months or something like that. I can't really remember, but it's definitely more than 2 months. And I love every bit of it. Don't really have too many complaints. Now, this review is not going to be a scientific review where I tie strings to this thing and measure the exact arc swing and measure everything scientifically and give you the details. No, this is just going to be a user-based review. It's just me giving you my opinions and just running down the length of the ratchet and telling you how it has served me over the past few months and what I like about it in general. And we'll be going over each and every feature of this ratchet. Of course, we'll start off with the grip here. Now, it doesn't look like I've used it that much, but trust me, I have. I just clean my tools after I use them. That's why they're not caked in oil and mud and dirt and all that stuff. I do a quite meticulous job of cleaning my ratchets after using them. So applies for those snap-on ones down there. Apart from the teal colored one, the other two I've used them quite a bit, but they look almost new because I cleaned them, in case you were wondering. So the grip here is definitely my second favorite grip of any ratchet after Snap-on's this grip, whatever they call it. I don't know what Snap-on calls it. This style of grip, the rubber grip, that's my favorite, but this is a very close second. It has a set of unique features here. So it's not entirely rubber. There are plastic inserts here where your thumb sits over here. That's plastic. This thing over here, which is also plastic, and so is the Cornwell logo. The rest of it is a hard rubber. It's not the softest rubber, but it still can catch a few cuts and dings. As you can see there, something grazed across it like that. But everything else has held up quite well. And I've heavily used this ratchet. It's been covered in hydraulic oil, engine oil, been dropped on mud, sand, gravel, you name it. It's been in the snow, it got buried in the snow, water, and it's held up really well over the past few months. And that's just a testament to a good made in USA tool, as you can see, with it barely has any noticeable damage. And there is some up here, as a matter of fact. I'll talk about that when I get to it. But yeah, the grip is really nice. Your thumb sits here like that for you to get a good turn on what the bolt you're trying to break loose or tighten. This, I don't really think it has any purpose other than just a design. Yeah, it's more for design, but that's definitely to hold your thumb like that as you hold it like that. So yeah, very ergonomic, feels really nice in the hand, and I really like the slight bump in the middle there. It kind of holds the center of your hand like that up, and it gives you the center point to basically get some leverage on. Moving on to the shank here, or whatever you want to call it, the centerpiece of the ratchet, I'll just call it the shank. It's slightly thinner than some of the ratchets in its category. Let me bring over the Snap-on Synergy ratchet, which is a 100-tooth ratchet. Now, they're in the same category. This is 120 teeth. This is 100 teeth. As you can see, the Cornwell is ever so slightly thinner. I don't have my caliper on me right now. I could have measured it and tell you, but I don't have it on me right now. But I don't know if that's coming up on camera. The Cornwell is slightly thinner. And they're in the same category of ratchet. They're almost the same length and everything. So yeah, slightly thinner shank or whatever you want to call the center part of the ratchet there. And this black oxide finish starts here. Your part number is stamped on there, almost painted on there. And I really like that look. You can get this ratchet in standard chrome if you like, but I thought I'll just go for the black ratchet because it looks much better in my opinion. I'm pretty sure the other two colors that this comes with, which is green, which will have LG instead, and yellow or high vis yellow, which will be LY instead. I'm pretty sure that those handles will stand out a bit more against the black than the blue does. But yeah, I just went with the blue because that's Cornwell's, you know, signature color. So that's the shank of the ratchet. It's a bit thinner than the rest. And then we come to our ball detent over here, which has 7 positions. So you have your vertically down. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's a full 180 degrees, and this uses the ball detent style instead of the whatever you call it, the other style with the slits like things that lock in and out like that. This uses the ball detent, and it has its advantages. It's definitely much more stiff, and it will loosen over time once wear and tear comes in through, but it's definitely quite stiff. And I like that about this ratchet. It comes that comes in handy in many occasions when you want it to stay still, but then again, you putting a bit more force, you can definitely cause it to change positions over there, and it has a definite satisfying feel to it. Let me bring it closer. Definitely solid, satisfying click to it, and it locks in place. It's very affirming. It's got a very firm lock to it. Then moving on to the head of the ratchet, this is your selector. Let me bring that closer again. It locks your pawl on the inside to either direction, and it's not recessed or anything. So if you do knock it into something with some force, it will move, but it's definitely not light. It's quite on the stiffer side. There's a lot of resistance to it. As you can see, it'll move, but it takes quite a bit more force to switch it over. But if you're in the engine bay of some machine or car or whatever, you can still flick it with your finger. As a matter of fact, you can flick it with your pinky. It's not too hard, but it will flick if you knock it up against something while you're ratcheting. But it's very unremarkable. There's nothing special about the selector. I've seen some stiffer selectors, but I've also seen very annoyingly loose selectors. This ratchet is definitely in the between, I'd say upper towards the stiffer side, but still light enough that you can flick it with your pinky. Moving on to the head of the ratchet there, Cornwell logo. Again, it has the Z series on top of the Cornwell logo. That's the Z-like thing, as you can see there. Flipping over to the bottom, the sealed head with Torex, 2 Torex bolts. I think that's a T5, I believe. I don't know what size Torex that is. I haven't taken this apart. And then you get your 3/8 drive over here, and you can hear the 120 tooth mechanism. And this ratchet is 100% stock. I haven't taken this head apart and filled it with grease or oil like I've done with some of my other ratchets, but this is 100% stock Cornwell. So yeah, I really love the mechanism. Now, I don't have a way of proving the 3-degree arc swing to you. A lot of other standard ratchets of this category would call it a 4-degree arc swing. That's what they claim. Cornwell claims 3 degrees. Again, I have no way of scientifically proving that to you. I don't have a full-on setup here, but I can say with almost certainty that every single time I've been in a tight spot and I've wanted this thing to catch, it's caught on and it started ratcheting. So even the slightest movement will cause it to catch. It does have some slop, as you can see there. There is some slop, but for what I do, it catches every time. And a good way you know it's going to catch is you can watch this. and that's when it catches. So it just moves ever so slightly. But for me, as far as I've been using it, it catches every single time. There are times where this thing, I could think of some times where it wouldn't, when you're in a really tight space. Then that's when you want to go in with a shorter ratchet and get it from there. But for everything that I've done with it, it's caught on, and I've broken a few tough bolts with it, and it doesn't seem to have affected the gear mechanism anyway. So it's still, I want to say, stock as it was when it was new, but as wear and tear breaks in, it will definitely start loosening up, and I may have to get the head, the mechanism replaced with Cornwell's lifetime warranty. But as far as now is concerned, I've broken a few bolts with it, quite tight ones, and I have a breaker bar also. When I know the limit of the ratchet is getting close, I just use my breaker bar. But for what it has done, it's worked really well. Now I'll talk about the damage up front, and this is something to note from me. If you're doing services on batteries and you care about your black oxide finish, do not use it near battery acid. And that's exactly what happened here. That is straight up battery acid. I was servicing the batteries on a Genie electric scissor lift, and the battery acid from the older batteries, I guess spilled over. I can't remember exactly what happened, but this ratchet was sitting there and it got touched by the battery acid, and as you can see, it left a permanent mark in the black oxide finish. Chrome is more resistant to battery acid, like your standard chrome. My other ratchet that I use to service batteries on is standard chrome, and it doesn't have any problems. It's not being marked or dinged by the battery acid in any way, but this definitely took its hit there. As you can see, the acid, it was only for a few seconds. I noticed it and I wiped it off, but it was too late. But yeah, so if you care about your black oxide finish, don't use it near any strong acids. This will take it right off, or it'll just leave this nasty imprint on it. But yeah, that's the only significant damage that kind of bummed me out. Everything else is fine. I might be actually getting this same ratchet in high vis because I think it looks a bit better. I saw it on the truck the other day and I thought, might as well add it to the collection. But yeah, that is my review of the Cornwell JRZFB12LB. This is my go-to ratchet, possibly for the next few months, for all of my 3/8 duty work. I do have another snap-on indexing head ratchet that I do carry in my tool tray, which I use for some other purposes, but this is my main go-to ratchet. I'll probably use it for a few more months, and then I'll probably try something else, probably Cornwell or snap-on. Maybe if we get a Mac dealer, I'm looking forward to using those new Mac ratchets that they've announced. Unfortunately, we don't have a Mac dealer just yet, but for now, this will be my go-to ratchet. I recommend this ratchet wholeheartedly. It's a 100% made in the USA. It's a solid ratchet, takes a beating really well and keeps on chugging. If your if your Cornwell dealer is running a good price on it for about 140 to 150, definitely go for it. It's definitely worth the money. It's still already a really cheap ratchet. And if you don't have a dealer, you can probably get it off eBay for a reasonable price. I think that's the unfortunate part about Cornwell. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. You cannot buy Cornwell online from Cornwell themselves. You have to buy it from a dealer, unlike Snap-on and Matt or Matco, where you can actually buy from the website. Cornwell, you can't, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But yeah, that was my review on this ratchet. It's a thumbs up from me. It's a solid ratchet, definitely worth the price. Leave a comment down below on what you think about this ratchet. Leave a like, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me. Thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video.